Hello, my dear friends. Interesting one today. There's a guy in America, and his name's Sean Graham, and he has set himself the interesting task of trying to review all of my solo and collaborations and the church, I believe, on YouTube.
You are watching The Steve Kilbey Show with Sean Graham.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Steve Kilbey Show. I'm your host Sean, and we're spinning the wheel to see what church album we get in the 80s. It's kind of an empty little thing here, because we're almost out of the 80s. Let's see what we land on. Hopefully it doesn't get an empty one. Hindsight. Alright, Hindsight it is. So, Hindsight. Let me get... Oh, well, listen, before we go into Hindsight, I did want to reiterate that the new Kilbey Kennedy is out. And not only is it out, but it's excellent. So if you're a Steve Kilbey fan, I highly recommend checking out that. Mine came with some little stickers, so little Kilbey Kennedy sticker, butterfly. Just wanted to push that again because it's excellent. Really do love it. So, Hindsight. Hindsight. Very exciting. I have the CD, so you can see here. We'll just quickly talk about the CD. Here's the CD, which everybody loves, nice and small. You got a couple discs here, EMI, of course. Listen, we're going to see this all much larger in a second, but the 2-disc CD compilation is great. That's what I've had for quite some time. Recently, Hindsight was re-released, and you can get it now on vinyl. You could get it on vinyl back in the day, of course, but you can get the re-release vinyl, which I'll show you in a second here. First of all, let's talk about this photo. I fucking love this photo. I love the angle of the shoes, the guitar between the legs, everything about it. The stool in the background, the black and white photography. This is a great album cover. I love it. You got the church vertically written, Hindsight 1980 to 87. It's a very good compilation, and then, you know, a photo's so good, you got to have it on there a couple times. So this compilation just came out last year, I want to say. I think this version of this compilation, I didn't really move to a different setting in this room, and I don't really have any good places to put this down. So you got this, which is a fantastic little wheel on the inside, on this sleeve, the inner sleeve that shows you all the guys. And on the back side, you got those lyrics that everybody loves. So yeah, so this came out, I think it came out, I want to say this just came out last year, maybe even this, 2025, I'm going to say 2025 or 2024, but it's on this beautiful color vinyl if you're looking for something fun. Again, I think I mentioned this, I've got Seance on pink, and I've got Heyday on red. And none of these are noisy. You know, I think people in general get worried that some of the newer color vinyl will be loud, you know, poppy and all that, but there you go. Here's the other side of it. Beautiful. But these aren't. They sound really good. They sound really good, I would say. So listen, Hindsight came out in July of 1998. They were busy. The church, when this came out, were in the middle of their Starfish world tour. So Starfish came out in February of 1998. Also in February of 1998 was Steve's third solo record, The Slow Crack. So you got 2 albums by Mr. Kilbey coming out in 1988, in February of 1998. You got The Church, Starfish, everybody loves it. It's like what vaults them into a different fucking stratosphere of success. You got Steve's Slow Crack record, and then, of course, in July, you get Hindsight. They're on a break of the tour. They do, I think, 2 sets of European legs, or 2, whatever. You know, they do one. Yeah, it was tour legs, right? I don't know why that didn't sound right to me. But yeah, basically, they finish up Europe, I think at the beginning of July, actually, or at the end of June. And they take a break, and I'm not sure where they went on that break, but then they're about to go to America, which is very fitting again, because as a reminder to all the Americans watching, the church are about to be here in June So it's just around the corner, June, July. Another summer tour. It's a singles tour, which is very fitting again for this Hindsight compilation. On the inside here, let's show you that. Again, you got that. One thing that I do really love about this album is you actually have on the inside a breakdown of all the tracks, right? You got all these tracks, and they are actually little comments from Steve, which is really kind of lovely. So, some of the tracks on here, listen, we all know these songs, right? You got some stuff from Of Skins and Heart, you got some stuff from Seance, you got Blurred Crusade showing up, you got some stuff that was on the Remote Luxury album, which we just talked about a couple days ago, and, you got stuff from Heyday, etc., right? So, side one, you got The Unguarded Moment, which is a fantastic song. Kind of help put them on the map, right? So it's a great song. In a Heartbeat, Too Fast for You, Tear It All Away, Sisters, Is This Where You Live? That's side one. I've always loved Sisters. I love that guitar riff at the beginning. Is This Where You Live is a great, I think we talked about it on that. I think it's nice because it's the first time you see that sort of long, epic church song structure that they really like to get into. Tear It All Away is very good. I'm not a big Too Fast for You fan, not as big as I think some people. I think it's very good, of course, but it's not my favorite single, But The Unguarded Moment is such a great way to start this because, it's kind of where a lot of it started, I think, for them. And it really is very radio friendly. So, also, In a Heartbeat is very good, and it was on the B-side to, it was the B-side to She Never Said. And I like it. It's a good pairing because of the sort of sound of both of those songs. It's a very good pairing. So that's a good single if you want to pick up the single for She Never Said. You'll get In a Heartbeat on the back end of that. And then side two, you got Almost With You, which Steve's always said is the definitive church song. And he talks about that in here, in fact, I believe. Yeah, the definitive church song. Neat Spanish guitar from Peter. Richard makes attractive percussive notes. With some little sticks or something, and Marty jingle jangles, and he's not wrong about that. So that's really good. Tear It Away, obviously very good. What else we got? Fraulein, which is a very loud, banging on song. You've Got to Go, I actually really like. The Golden Dawn, another instrumental track, which I really like. When You Were Mine is the way that side two closes out. But let's quickly talk about my favorite song on this entire compilation, a song we haven't discussed at all, because we haven't got to the album yet, that was kind of a B-side to. But I think this might have been the first time it showed up. Actually, it might have been a B-side to something else. But anyway, for me, this was definitely the first time I heard it, was here, because I don't have... Anyway, Life Speeds Up is my favorite song on this entire collection. I love Life Speeds Up. I'll just read you what Steve says about it. He says, another epic, better live than this slightly stiff version, once used as part of a surfing film. It was the B-side to Almost With You. Great. So Almost With You and Life Speeds Up, what a banger of a 7-inch compilation that is right there. A little 7-inch single. Almost With You, great. And then on the other side, Life Speeds Up. I love Life Speeds Up because, again, it kind of gives you that epic nature of some of the church songs. There's multiple parts. There's a breakdown part later that then goes into this sort of riff-heavy coda, I guess you want to call it, which then goes back into some more lyrics at the end. I love the lyrics of the song. As simple as it may sound, life does speed up, right? It's beautiful. It's great. It's a banger. And I've never seen it live, so maybe we'll get it on this tour in America, in the Los Angeles area or Phoenix or something, because it's really good. And I believe him that I bet that song is really good live. It kind of is structured in a way that is similar to You Took, right? Where like You Took is so much guitars, bass, just like it musically allows them, I imagine, to do really cool stuff on stage. There's this great little like there's like this like musical melody towards the breakdown later that's just fucking good, man. And they just keep layering on more guitar. Bass is just banging along in the background. The drums are just keeping it going. It's so good. I love Life Speeds Up so much. If you aren't familiar with that song, or if you haven't listened to it in a while, I highly recommend checking Life Speeds Up out ASAP because it's so good. Anyway, back to the songs. Electric Lash is on side 3. The Night is Very Soft, which I know Steve is very fond of. I really like that song also. Autumn Soon, It's No Reason, Someone Special, A Month of Sundays, which we already talked about, I think. That's a song that Steve loves too. Shadow Cabinet, another song he loves. Clearly he helped put this compilation together. And then As You Will, Myrrh, which is a classic. The View, Transcending, and Tantalized, which is a great way to end it. I kind of like also starting with Unguarded Moment, ending the whole thing with Tantalized, because you kind of see where they started with that sort of very radio-friendly song. I think Unguarded Moment should have been a bigger hit in my mind. And then ending with Tantalized, which I think is a very radio-friendly song, but in a different way. It's like you see the progression of the church from the Unguarded Moment to Tantalized within these sort of years. And I think, you hear the same band in both songs, of course. You see the progression in Steve's songwriting, I think, and you see where the band has kind of come together, right? Sounding really, really good. So I really love that. I love that progression. So this is a very good release. Transcending, by the way, I think he says it in here. Just worth noting. Yeah, Transcending, Steve says he likes more than anything else on Heyday, which I kind of think is interesting. And I like Transcending because it is very different. And also kind of, it's a good, what I was saying about Heyday is, what I think is interesting about Heyday is it's kind of right before he starts doing solo stuff and all these other collaborations he begins to do in his career. And so Heyday is kind of a cool launching point for that. And Transcending kind of gives you a little taste of that, I think, a little taste of, his musical interest, his lyrical interest, and, it's stretching the church out a little bit in a way that's maybe uncomfortable for them, but it's good. So Transcending, I do really like. He highly recommends it. And like I said, it's just kind of an interesting time, not only in the church's sort of career, because Starfish is out, it's huge. They're in between tours when this compilation comes out, which was very good timing. That's good planning, I would say, right there, because I don't know how much of a success Hindsight was when it came out, but I imagine because Starfish was out, this would have been a great thing to pick up at the time. If you're like, hey, man, I love that song Under the Milky Way, I love that song, that album Starfish, and let me pick something else up, this is a great way to do it because you kind of get a nice selection of their stuff. Yeah, is that it? Is that all I want to say about this? I think so. Yeah, so CD, you can get it on vinyl, old vinyl. You can get a new copy of it now. Again, one of the things that is really nice is the little notes from Steve, which I really do like reading. So let's put it down. Let's rank it. Give me tape. Okay. Sorry. Okay, got it. Right? Oh, that's the wrong one. Alrighty. Sorry, bear with me 1 sec. So Hindsight, where's that going to go on the Kilbey leaderboard? We're going to find out. And bear with us. We're almost done here with the 80s of the church. And I want to mix it up and get back into some Steve Kilbey broader things. So, oops, I picked up the CD and not the Hindsight. So we'll probably mix it up a little bit more. But we have probably the two biggest, at least the biggest and like the big fan favorite still left in the 80s, which is great. So you can look forward to those two next. Kind of narrows it down. Hindsight is a really, really great compilation. Similar to later Steve's more recent solo Bespoke Wheels album, which is a compilation of all the solo stuff and the Kilbey Kennedy stuff. That's a really great starting point if you're not familiar with Steve's solo stuff. And in the same way, for some reason, if you're watching these and you're not already into the church, Hindsight is a really great encapsulation of kind of what they were doing at the time from 80 to 87. Again, it came out in 88. So Hindsight's great. I mean, and you know what? It's tough because it's compilation. It's like, how do you really rank that? It's not really an album, kind of like Remote Luxury. I'm going to put it, because it's a compilation, it does have Life Speeds Up, which if I was making a Kilbey song leaderboard, which maybe I will do, Life Speeds Up would be top 5 favorite church songs, for sure. I love Life Speeds Up. It's right up there with No Other You, which I love. Those are probably the two I play the most, Life Speeds Up and No Other You. There's obviously so many other great ones, but those two I seem to come back to the most. I'm going to put it here. I think because it's a compilation, it feels a little bit like a cheat to move it way up, even though there's so many great songs. So what I'm going to do is put it just ahead of Steve's solo compilation, Bespoke Wheels. So it'll be here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll put it right after Seance. So right after Seance at 7, we got 8, Hindsight. Great collection. And then right under that, Steve's solo collection. So Kilbey leaderboard, Kilbey videos, Steve Kilbey madness, always in this house. Hit us up if you want a button. The church is coming on tour very soon in the United States of America. Definitely pick up the new Kilbey Kennedy. And I'm going to be back before you know it with another video. Have a good one, y'all.